welcome to The Late Show. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Gills, and we have got a great show tonight, Shannon. We're talking all things relationships, whether you're single, dating, married, or maybe even it's complicated. We've got something for everyone tonight.
That's it. And you know, Gills, when you came to me and you said, Shan, I would love to do a dating show and talk about singles and dating. I took a bit of creative liberty there and read between the lines, and I figured you're really saying, I need a girlfriend, bro.
I don't recall saying that.
So you know what we're going to do tonight? If you see this hunk of a man, this 4'3", isolation haircut, and just all muscle, and you're thinking, that's my type of guy, then you know what? There's going to be a number that pops up on the screen. Text through why you're worthy to date this man, and who knows, he'll get back to you. Is that cool, Gills?
No.
Doesn't matter. Hey, coronavirus has been all over the news recently. You would have heard of it, the Rona. And if you haven't, essentially what it is, it's just a virus that's passed between two people, really, that just have premarital sex. And ScoMo's got something to say about this.
Stop doing it. It's ridiculous. It's un-Australian, and it must stop. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's ridiculous.
You got that, Gills? Stop doing it. Hey, we want to make tonight a heap of fun, and the way we're going to do that is by just putting some interesting fun facts in there. So fun fact number one.
Fun facts?
You know, bridesmaids' bouquets.
Yeah.
You know, the reason they have them is because originally the bride had this pungent smell that only she was meant to have, and the men were meant to love it. So to hide that from everyone else, the bridesmaid had a bouquet. And that's just a tradition we have kept. So, fun fact. You need that. Who knows when you might need that?
Well, you know what? We got a star-studded lineup just for you. We got James and Georgie from Paradise. We got Shannon and Courtney from Marion, and we got Judah and Zhao from City, and of course we have me as well.
You don't forget we got our house band, the ISO Gyms. You know, we'd love to be able to gather together and spend tonight with you guys watching at home, but we can't, thank you to the climate of the Rona and everything happening. But instead, we've got Kitchy and the team. They got a rendition of Do It Again by Elevation. Check it out.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for you have never failed me yet. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never fail me yet. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You never
it is my absolute privilege to be able to introduce our very first guest for this evening, all the way from Paradise, James and Georgie. Why don't we give it up for them? So good to see you guys.
So good to see you.
How are ya?
You feel someone different. We're out of the house.
I know, far out of isolation. How are you guys
know.
finding isolation, by the way? What have you guys been doing?
Oh, look, there's not a lot you can do at home alone by yourself. So spend a lot of dishes, a lot of cleaning, a lot of cooking, a lot of sex, a lot of board games.
Wow.
Well, it's true.
Gillian, listen up.
Okay, I'm really looking forward to doing a lot of dishes.
Yes, dishes
when
is
I'm
the best
married.
part,
That's
best
right.
part of marriage.
Wow, dishes, dishes, dishes. Dishes all the time, hey James?
That's right.
Oh my goodness,
Oh,
come on,
gosh.
bring on the dishes. But hey, look, I know you guys very well. We're very good friends. I've known you guys for a lot of years, but for the people out there that probably don't know you, why don't we get to know you a bit more? How long have you guys been married for? How long have you guys been dating?
I'll answer this. We've been married for 2 years
Hey, I
last
can catch
January.
two.
All right,
So
all right. But we've been together for 6 years, so yeah, a little while.
Awesome. Well, I have something in front of me here, right? And I want you guys to tell me about it. And why don't you have a look at that? Why don't you tell me what's going on there, what's going on
my
that
gosh,
season of
look
life?
At
Oh my gosh, look how young we
that. We
are.
are very young there, very young and very hairless on the face.
Oh my goodness, James, you look I thought you were born with hair on your face.
No. As an Italian, I'm quite hairy, but you know the facial hair didn't kick in till later. I pretty much just had a beard on my bum for growing up. And
Well, I
the
honestly
beard on
thought
my
you
face came in
sneezed
later.
and the facial hair came out.
Yeah, that's how it happens, Gills. You know, it'll probably happen for you one day as well. You just sneeze and a full beard will
I'm
come
still
in.
waiting for it. Maybe one day. Keep praying for me, mate.
I
So
will do.
funny. Yeah, this photo's actually from our first date.
Oh,
and
wow.
we're in Rymel Park here, and you can see in the background, we used to have like a love tree.
Yeah,
James asked me.
carved our initials into it.
Yeah, but a year later, like we went back to the park and the council had chopped our tree down.
No way, you're
Yeah,
joking.
chopped down, turned it into mulch.
Reapers, that can't be good.
Nah,
No.
I was so upset.
Oh, wow. So, James and Georgie, I want to ask you something. Firstly, James, let me ask you, were you that desperate single before you started dating Georgie?
I wasn't. You know, I never tagged any girls into any memes at 3 a.m. in the morning, never slid into anyone's DMs.
Oh,
I was
typical.
a traditional guy, very old-fashioned.
Wow.
Yeah,
I would have
but-
thought something different from you, James.
Nah, well, really, I was too busy hanging out with the boys, going to Wing Wednesdays, going to Burgers on Thursdays,
Ooh.
Fried Fridays. It
Oh,
was
that
all
sounds
about hanging
great.
out with the guys, playing sports.
Yep.
You know, just chilling out. I was, you know, probably too busy really to focus on any girls.
So, James, so on a serious note, how did you navigate that season of life being single? How did you navigate it well?
Well, I think for a lot of guys, the hardest part of being single is that loneliness side of stuff. So I just encourage you, if you're a single guy out there, you know, don't just chill out by yourself into your room at 4 a.m. playing video games. Get around a good group of friends and really set yourself some goals, you know, career goals, savings goals, life goals. Because I found that I was so focused on that I didn't really worry about a girl. The girl came along at the right time.
Wow, awesome. Yeah. What about you, Georgie? How did you navigate that season of being single before you met James?
Yeah, James makes it sound so easy. I think it's a bit different for girls. We kind of are brought up with this Disney mentality of like, oh, I can't wait to meet my Prince Charming, and I've planned my wedding since I was 7. And yeah,
Oh my
definitely.
goodness.
I thought it was earlier.
Sounds like you had a big list, Georgie.
Totally. All the girls plan their wedding young, let me tell you that. But I think that, you know, growing up as a girl, you're always looking for this man and you have this dream list of everything that you want to find in a husband. And
Wow, yep.
my list was miles long.
huge.
Yep, that's right. But I think the thing is that, you know, when you really learn how to do single well, you realise that your list doesn't matter because God knows you better than you know yourself and He loves you.
No, he was above the list.
It's
Wow.
true, God came through. But you know, it's just really learning to embrace that single season and going, God, you actually know the desires of my heart and you know me better. So it's not trying to flirt with all the guys and find this perfect man. That's not how you do single life. You actually just seek first the kingdom of God and prioritize Him and serve in His house and surround yourself with good people. And as you do that, God brings along the right person in the right time. So you know, just embrace that season
Right.
and learn to pursue God first.
Great, awesome.
But what about you? I mean, Gills, you're asking us questions about being single, but like, you're the single one. Come on, what do you think about this?
Look, good question. Look, I think the church knew I was single, but now obviously the whole world knows I'm single now, thanks to YouTube. But yeah, look, great question. Look, I think Georgie, in this season, I'm really looking at it as an opportunity. You know, like I think everyone gets those moments when you're like, you know what? Yeah, I wish I was in a relationship. Oh, you know what? That would be nice. That kind of thing. I think that's normal for everyone. But definitely in this season, it's a great opportunity to be able to work on myself. And you said, I think that was the key there when you said, seek first the kingdom of God. For me, it's really seeking that relationship with God and really building that foundation, because I know that when I build on that foundation, that's essentially what's going to complete me. You know, like when I'm in that relationship, I know that it's important, but essentially that person doesn't complete me. It's essentially complementing me, right? And I don't want it to sound selfish, but the only relationship that's ever going to complete me is a relationship with God. So the way that I see it is not necessarily an investment just for myself. It's not just for those personal, being able to go forward personally, things like that, but I'm actually investing into my future spouse, into that future relationship, into my future partner, because I want to be able to present the best version of myself that I can be, if that makes sense.
Totally,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, so look, it's essentially everything that what you guys were saying, I totally agree with. But let me ask you guys this question, and maybe James, you can answer it from the guy's perspective, and Georgie, you can answer it from the girl's perspective. But what is one piece of advice that you give people out there that are single right now? James, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I think for the guys, you know, like Gills was saying, seek first the kingdom of God. And if you don't really know what that means, I think that means just focus on being a good person, a kind person, a loving person, someone that's generous, someone that's charitable, and you will attract a woman that's like that as well. So, you know, you'll attract what you want to be in life, and I think that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah. I think for girls, it's enjoy that season of being single. Don't rush it. Don't wish it away. Don't want to just be in that relationship or be married, but realize that God can speak to you and grow you and develop you in that season. So take every opportunity to just spend time with Him and know that He's got your future covered.
Great, awesome. Hey, that is some fantastic advice for everyone out there, but we're going to play a little game. We want to know how well you guys know each other. So I'm going to play the best friend game.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Come on.
Very competitive.
All right.
Is this like against each other? This
Yes,
might
it's
get
against each
nasty.
other.
Prize.
I'd like to see how competitive you guys are, but I've got the best friend box here. Right?
Wow.
Now, inside the best friend box, I've got some paper, so I'm going to pass that to you. But before you do that, would you like a couple of pumps? Right?
Oh, why not? You know, you got to have clean hands.
You got it on the iPad, don't worry.
Are we meant to drink this or rub it into our hands?
You can
What's
drink
the
it if
go?
you want. We'll see
that
what
work?
happens, but
You might poison yourself.
you've been
You
drinking
know,
it.
we
Man, you
dressed
got-
up as Woody and Buzz Lightyear to a party once. We must be like,
Wow,
real ready
it was
for this
meant
game.
to be. Right, but we're going to play the best friend game. Let me explain the rules of the game to you. Inside this best friend box, I have a number of questions, and I'm simply going to ask you those questions, and you guys need to write down your answers on the piece of paper, hide it from each other. Then when I ask you to reveal it, you're going to show it to the camera over there, and we're all going to laugh at you because it's going to be
Right.
great. I know how competitive you guys
Right.
are, right? So the best
Ready.
friend game, the first question out of the best friend box is...
It's on.
What is Georgie's biggest fear?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Ooh.
Are we doing like a silly fear or a serious fear?
Oh, we can do whatever you want.
Get real deep.
Don't be afraid to pay each other out. We want to see that competitive nature.
All right, I'm done.
All right. Georgie, you still need a bit of time?
I don't even
Do you
know
want me to show you how
what
to spell
my
it?
biggest fear is.
All right. 3.
No, I'm still writing.
Oh, wow. It's a whole sentence. Wow.
I already know what you're right.
Do you need anything else? What is Georgie's biggest fear? That is the question.
This is so funny.
3, 2, 1. What do we got? What do we got?
I wrote going hungry.
No food in the house. Yes.
Oh my gosh, going hungry. I
that's
know
great.
you, Georgie. Every 2 hours, you have to
She
be
gets
eating
hangry,
something.
man. That's my biggest fear as
Man.
well. Georgie hangry.
I don't know how to deal with that, mate. But our next question that we have outside of the best friend box is, what is the song you always end up singing together?
Oh, jeez. There's many.
There, I'm
Straight
ready.
into it.
We
I'll try
have-
not to sing. I'm a really bad
No
singer.
hesitation at all.
Nah, we sing a lot of stupid songs in our house.
Okay, all right.
right,
James
you
looks
ready?
ready. All right, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
What do you got? Baby Shark. How old are you guys?
We don't even have
great.
kids. Why do we sing Baby
Baby Shark. Why don't you give us a preview right now, Georgie?
Pardon?
1, 2, 3.
No, we don't sing on
You don't want to
camera.
sing?
Nah, you don't want me to sing.
You'll regret that
I'd love to hear you
decision.
sing.
These are expensive mics. I don't want to break them.
All right, very last question out of the best friend box is, what's James's best physical aspect?
Oh.
Oh. Have a think about it.
I'm just going to say everything.
All right. James getting excited. Georgie, you're still writing. You know, it's supposed to be short.
I'm finished.
All right, 3, 2, 1. What do we got?
What did you write?
Everything?
Oh, wow, it's 10 out of 10. The first
should
one you
be.
guys got right.
Does that mean we're best friends, Gills?
What's the prize?
The prize is, well done, mate, you're awesome.
I'll
Fantastic.
take it.
Do you want a hug after the isolation period?
Yeah.
That's your prize, mate.
You probably need a few more hugs than I do, so, you know.
Well, why don't we give up for James and Georgie? Stick around, we got Shannon and Courtney next. We're gonna come back straight after these ads.
Hey Influencers Church, well, we are so excited. We would love to invite you on a date night with us.
A date night with us.
Next Friday, the 15th at 8 p.m. on Zoom.
Imagine if in your home you could have one of the best date nights of your life. Imagine if from the privacy home on Zoom with your mic muted and screen on, you could work on your marriage, hear some great music artists, maybe get a great giveaway that we have some laugh with some special guests, and hear from Pastor John and Anna Villani.
Wow.
We're going to be doing this next Friday. So why don't you grab some Maison, some non-alcoholic rosé, some chocolate, some Indian food, and get in a space in your home, get the kids to bed or in another room, and enjoy a date night with us.
It's going to be fun. Friday night, 8 p.m. on Zoom.
We'll send you out the link soon.
Well, I am super happy to welcome our very next guest for tonight, all the way from Marion. You all love him, Shannon and Courtney. Why don't you give it up for him? Shannon and Courtney, so good to see you guys. How are you?
Right?
Well, we want to know a bit more about you guys, so we're going to play a game called Dibba Dobba. You guys, take that. Wait, before you do. Check in, mate. Check in, couple of pumps. Yep, two. Awesome, there we go. Now, the game is very simple, right? On these paddles, I've got on one side Shannon, other side Courtney. I'm gonna place that one, give that one to Shannon, right? And it's super simple. I'm simply gonna ask you guys a question and you just need to turn the paddle to whoever's the right answer, if that makes sense. Any questions? Okay, ready to go. My first question is, for Dibba Dobba, who is more messier? Oh, that was very quick. Very quick. Yeah,
Yes.
typical Shannon.
Wow.
My next question is, who is more emotional?
Oh, that's easy.
Well, another one, quick fire. Man, you guys are in sync. Okay, this one's interesting. Who is more musical?
Oh, easy.
Oh, man.
Easy ones,
three
girls. Come
for
on, give us a
three.
challenge.
You guys are on fire. Okay, who is the better cook?
Come on.
Oh, here's a hesitation. Oh,
You know, this is a recent development. I have always been the better cook.
Okay.
But in ISO, Shan's,
It's my isolation hobby.
yes,
None of this
he's
working out, is it?
exceeded me. So officially Shan.
wow. And he's perfected the chicken, right?
Yeah, the fried chicken.
Fried chickens. Okay, my next question for you guys is, who is more fiery?
Oh.
Oh, wow, that was quick. I feel like there's a bit of a backstory to this. Why so quick to that answer?
Here's the thing, right? Court presents well. She's got this nice smile.
Yes.
She seems like she wouldn't hurt a fly, but deep down in the crevices of her soul
No way.
is this anger.
Wow,
And you know what? If you get on the wrong side of her and you do something that is bad, she will kill you. And I'm only here by the grace of God, man. Like,
Okay, I like to call it I'm passionate. So I'm very passionate about my feelings
call it what you
and
want,
things
but
I
it's
don't
scary.
like.
It is scary. So, but you know what? If anyone ever wrongs me, don't get
I got
with
your
you.
back.
So,
Yeah.
still love you.
Tell us about that. Wow, what have you guys been doing in this Rona season?
We've been eating a lot, mostly just eating.
Okay.
Mostly just, I feel it's been one of those ones that's like a competition now. It's like who can win isolation, and some people are out there, Pastor Josh, and he's like, you know, how fit can I get? And that. Meanwhile, I'm just eating fried chicken,
Oh my
and the only
God.
thing I've increased is my body mass index, and fat, and my cholesterol. But it's been good, you know.
You know what? Speaking of that, I actually do have a photo of you. Why don't you have a look at that, right? You want to take that, Courtney?
Oh, this brings back
Why don't you tell us about that photo there, mate?
Yeah, that was
Something close to
my Nashville spicy
Oh.
fried chicken.
you? Wow.
Now I'm proud of this. I'll put a call out to anyone out there. If you want
Oh.
to start a fried chicken business with me, you provide the truck. I'll make the chicken because
There we go.
it was good.
Business proposal, awesome. Well,
what
I
we do.
obviously know you guys. We're good friends, but for those of you, of those that don't know you, why don't you guys tell us a bit about you guys? How did you guys start dating?
You know, it's a funny time. We both, years ago in Sydney at Hillsong, decided that we both weren't looking, before we met, both weren't looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I particularly wasn't looking for a boyfriend. But, you know, we weren't looking. We said, you know what, God, we're fully in for you. We just wanted to be in for God, and we weren't looking around. And it was kind of at that point that God said, hey, now it's time for you guys and your paths to cross. And he did. And you know what, I remember one of my friends, who was also Court's friend, who set us up, dragging me over and said, you have to meet
Wow.
Court. And I
It
said,
was a
no.
setup.
Yeah, it was a setup. And I'm like,
Total setup.
That's
I don't
nice.
want to meet her. And she dragged me over, and straight away after that conversation, like, Court's only human. She was obsessed.
Oh, wow.
She was following me around, and everywhere I went, she would be.
That's very
Okay,
hard to
to
believe, mate.
clarify, Shan became known as What's a Stalker,
Wow.
and he proceeded to follow me everywhere. So he was actually texting Emily, and wherever I went, Shan showed up, which was coincidental.
The classic church stalk.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. But you know what? Yeah, look, once we got that GPS tracker removed, we were all good. But thank God.
You know, GPS track, I'm noting that down.
It's good hint
No,
there,
is it?
Gills.
Okay.
But you know what we did? As soon as I knew Court was the one. Like, it didn't take that long, and I remember that I was just clearly pursuing you. And I'd like to think, as a gentleman, that you knew exactly that my intentions were that I was wanting to date you. I wasn't looking around. I wasn't trying to talk to other girls, but I was full in and going hard.
Yeah, and I think on that, like, I joke about him being a stalker, but what I really did love about Shan in that pursuing stage is that I really knew what his intentions were, and he wasn't playing any games. He was so clear that he was in this and he was all in, and I felt like that really won me over in the end.
That's
Yeah.
great. I've got a question for you, Shannon, and I think it's out there. A lot of people ask themselves, is the one out there for me? And I guess it's a two-part question. The first part is, when did you know Courtney was the one, and is there even the one?
Well, let's talk about this, because it's debatable, and there's so many ideas on the one. And my theory is this: is that when you're single, the one it could be anyone. The one's heaps of people.
Wow.
As soon as you're married, though, there's only one.
Okay, all right.
'Cause, I guarantee Court wants to know that she's the only one for me. So it's kind of seasonal. How did I know Court was the one? Heck, we started dating. I remember that things just came easy. You know, we weren't. You know, we were really compatible. We could talk about heaps of things. God was in the center. Our first date, we spoke about
Wow.
God.
The very first one.
Very first date.
God conversation.
Yeah,
right?
we were pretty holy people, and it came easy. There was a peace that came about it, and it was really just that.
And I think on that, as you do the dating game, me and Shan are all for young adults. Like, go grab coffee together, catch up, get to know each other.
Coffee doesn't equal marriage.
Exactly.
You can get a coffee and you're not
Totally.
married.
That's true.
But we
yeah.
do say be really discerning along the way and make sure it is a spirit-led process, and every step kind of just check in with God. And I think for me with Shan, it was just this ease, and it just felt like green lights, and God was
Wow.
just confirming that, yep, this is good.
So there was a clarity to it.
Yeah, there was a clarity and just a peace around it. And I think if you process it like that, the Holy Spirit's also going to do the opposite, and it'll give you that gentle nudge saying, no, this isn't the right fit. So I think just being prayerful, being discerning as you walk it out.
That's great.
Yeah.
So my next question, maybe Courtney, you can go first, but for those who are dating out there tonight, what is one piece of advice that you would give them, and Shannon as well, we'll get your opinion on that as well, but what's one piece of advice that you give older people that are dating out there?
Wow. I think for me it would be to put God in the centre, and I feel like that's a really cliche, kind of overused statement, but I think it's really crucial. And for us, like Shan said, we were talking about God from the beginning, and that actually laid a really great foundation then for our marriage. So as we were dating, we were going to church every Sunday together, we were chatting about God, what he was doing in our hearts, we were praying and reading the word, and I actually feel like that really set us up for a win then into marriage. And a big thing that also helped me to know Shan was the one is in that process I ultimately was growing closer to God rather than further away.
I think that's a big one. I think you know, if you date someone and they're going to take you away from God and they're going to create distance, and you're not going to serve in church because you don't have the time because you're always with them, I think that's probably bit of a red flag. A green flag is, hey, they're bringing you closer to God.
Yeah, 100%.
My piece of advice would be this. I think, if dating's a game and marriage is a prize, like people often ask, how soon is it okay to talk about marriage in dating? And I think this. I think if you're not from the first date having intent to get married, then why are you dating?
Yeah, true.
And so I think, the dating time is the time that you test that out and you see what's working and what's good. And for me, my biggest piece of advice is pick someone that you can have fun with.
Yeah.
Pick someone that you can go out with and have dates with and mess around with. And I can guarantee you, Court is my absolute best friend. And if I had to pick, every night of the week between hanging out with the boys, I'll pick Court. Sorry, mate. And I'll pick Court because she's my best friend. It doesn't mean don't hang out with the boys, because then that's crossing the line into, we'll go into that boundaries and the dating cave. But yeah, that's my advice. Make sure it's your best friend.
Yeah.
So in that, Shannon, you talked about the dating cave, and an important part of relationships is setting boundaries. What would you guys say about boundaries in relationships?
I think the term boundaries is a big one, and before you can really even get into the do's and the don'ts, you really have to think about, okay, what is your perspective on boundaries? And I remember as a new Christian thinking boundaries were restrictive and they were controlling, and it was about not being able to have fun. But as I grew in my relationship with God and I started to trust the character of God, I realized that boundaries actually bring safety. And as I worked within boundaries, I found freedom and I felt like I really started to flourish.
Awesome.
And you think about the very nature of God, I feel like he wants us to operate in those boundaries. And, right back to Adam and Eve, the very notion of the tree, it was setting up a system of boundaries for humanity. And because God's intent was for us to live in boundaries. And then you think about just boundaries in any context, they help us. So you think even a parent-child relationship, the parent's going to set up boundaries for the best intent of the child. Or I'm a high school teacher, I have many, as my students would know, many boundaries in my classroom, and that's to help the kids learn and be safe. And then, even in a sporting context, if we didn't have rules and boundaries, the game would ultimately be chaos. So I
Social
think
distancing.
Yes.
The boundaries here don't catch the
Yes, but I think my point is before you can even get into the do's and the don'ts, you have to stop and go, why boundaries? And have that heart to go, you know what, these boundaries are here to help me. And they're going to help me to flourish. They're going to keep me safe. And then you walk into dating and you apply those boundaries, and ultimately you see it from a lens of, hey, this is protecting us, this is honouring me, this is honouring you. And so, that would be my thoughts around boundaries before we get into it, because I think you need to really think about it from that lens.
I think one area where boundaries are often crossed, and not talking about sex, that's a big topic, is boundaries of into that dating cave and boundaries of sense of self. And what I mean by that is so often people start dating and they get so obsessed with one another in their relationship, they enter in the infamous dating cave, and they go in and they become this coagulated entity, and in that they forget about who they are, individual. We're created to be individuals, and it says God knows every hair on our head, that we're unique, created in our mother's womb, right? And, we have our own gifts, our own talents, our own passions, but they get so obsessed with one another that they go in and they forget those things, and they come out sometimes years later, and you know what, they've lost those things. And eventually what we've seen happen is at one day, at one point, they get resentful and they say, before I met you, I had this. Before I met you, I had these friends. And that ends up, what was they thought was a strength, ends up being something that divides. So that's that area. But also, boundaries is sex.
Yes.
And that's a big topic. And that's something that we could spend a lot of time covering. How do you feel about talking about that topic?
Well, not great, but I do feel like it's super important.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think when it does come to sex, I think ultimately it is a gift from God, and sex is something to be celebrated, to be enjoyed, but ultimately it is two people coming together, sharing of themselves in such a vulnerable and intimate way. And my thoughts is that it's to be shared under the covering and protection of marriage, and that's why God wants us to, because it's this real intimate sharing of oneself. And so when it operates within the realms of marriage, there's safety in that. And, you know, for me and Shan, we definitely made the decision together that we were going to honour that and that we wanted to save it until we got married together. And, you know, just personally, from my perspective, I actually feel like that was a really precious decision that we did make. And I felt like Shan in that made me feel so honoured and valued and respected. And we were able to really just get to know each other for each other and our personality and our love of food and all those other things, and then reserve that intimate side then for marriage.
I feel Christians like to play the game of there's the boundary of sex, right? And they like to say, you know, because people often ask, and you would have had this in young adults as well, Gil, is like, you know, how far is too far?
Yes.
And it's such an interesting question, but I think if you're asking that question, you probably got the wrong heart behind it. And we like to play this game of how close can we get to the line without crossing it. Yeah, it's like we're walking the tightrope. But in Corinthians, it says we should flee from sexual immorality. And if you think about that word flee, it's not let's stay close to it, it's let's run the other way.
Yes.
And I think our heart needs to be, okay, there's the line, I'm actually going to come as far away from it as possible. And how far is too far? Well, if I'm even getting close to that, probably too far, all right? Yeah. So you know what, it's a big topic, and as much as we could talk about it, let's handball that one off, hey Gills? And let's send that to Josh and Shans. They have a quick video about boundaries and sex. So here's a video with some quick sex tips. Tips, just the tip. Tips.
Okay, hey guys. Well, like Courtney said, sex is a gift to give the person that you get married to, but it is also glue. It bonds a couple together, it joins them together. It's designed in the context of marriage to do that for a couple, and it is amazing when done right. So Josh, give us some tips for sex and relationships when you're dating.
Sex while dating. Here's the tips. Number one, you do not have sex with people you are not married to. This is the end of point one. Point two, there's no rush, loose lips. You'll get to kissing. Does it have to be on the first date? You work it out. Point number three, no horizontal hugging, no bump and grinding. This is not a rodeo. Friction starts a fire. Number four, heads and shoulders, knees and toes. Heads and shoulders, knees and toes. If you don't know where to put your hands, avoid between the heads and shoulders, knees and toes. Number five, don't rub, touch, feel, paint, taste or paste what you don't have. If you don't have it, don't touch it. Point number six, avoid each other's rooms. Point number seven, his imagination doesn't need your help. Cover them up, sister. Point number 8, happy hands happen after 11 p.m. You become like a werewolf after midnight. Get out of there, you horny dog. Number 9, holidays. We don't go on holidays together. You might come back with extra baggage. And point number 10, couples that pray together, lay together. You're meant to have spiritual compatibility, not spiritual intimacy.
Wow, what a list. Hope you can remember all that. But if you are married, anything goes as long as you're comfortable with it. We love you.
Amen.
Well, thank you, Josh and Shans, for those tips. And you know, if you've been watching at home and you've got questions on any of the topics that we will have covered tonight, from single, from dating, sex or marriage in a moment, there's going to be a number that pops up on the screen right now. So text through those questions. Next week at Connect, we're going to answer those, and we're going to go deeper with our Connect group leaders, and Gills and I are going to answer them as well. But right now, we've got 2 guests from our city campus, Judah and Zhao. Why don't we welcome them as they join us on stage tonight? Come on. how are you guys going?
Good, thanks. How about you, Shannon?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been an interesting season, but how have you guys been finding this whole isolation and everything that's been happening with that?
Well, I've been enjoying it as a family, and I thank God that we haven't killed each other yet.
Oh, you know, we've got 2 boys, so after a while, it's like every 5 minutes, Dad, I'm bored. Dad, I'm bored. It's like,
I'm
thank
hungry.
God, school is open, the playgrounds are open.
Playground's open, absolutely. I think every parent in that moment just celebrated and they removed that tape. So that's a good one. Hey, we were looking on Facebook and we were looking, when you guys posted that you guys were coming on this show tonight, your Facebook just blew up. And I feel like half of Malaysia are watching this right now. So
Hong Kong, Vietnam.
Hong Kong, Vietnam, everywhere. So welcome. Can you teach me to say welcome in Malay? Is that doable?
Selamat datang.
Hello?
Yeah. Apa
Hey
khabar?
guys, that's very Malay of me. You know, there was some edits though and some renditions that went around of that gangster photo of you guys. And if you check out this on the screens right now, can you see that one there? So as you can see, you guys, we're the Tiger. And have you guys been watching Netflix?
Yes.
We got another one for you. I like that. They're going around and they're blowing up the internet. Tiger Kings from City Campus, Yuta and Zhao. So you guys have been married, and when you're here to talk about marriage, how long have you guys been married?
12 years?
13 years.
Always round up, bro.
Yes.
Well, guys don't remember, hey?
Yes, yeah.
So you've been round. Let's give it a round of applause, Ben. Can we? Isolation jams. There we go. They're on to it. We got there eventually. Hey, that's awesome. 13 years. You know, Court and I, we've been married 5 years, or rounding up, it's 4. But we think it's been a massive and changey season all the time. How would you guys kind of explain those early years? And has it always been smooth sailing, or has it changed around a little bit?
Well, I guess we just want to be raw and honest here. Like, 13 years is a long time. And like what you've said, and I like what Gary Chapman in his book, The 4 Seasons of Marriage, sums up about marriage. Like, you know, there are just seasons in our marriage. And, you know, when you're newly married, that feels like spring every day. You know, life is wonderful. You look and anticipate good things to come. And then, you know, come summer, life is beautiful. The marriage is beautiful. You are like in love with each other, deeply, madly in love. And then autumn, everything may look beautiful on the outside, but you know, something starts to change on the inside and you start having questions and doubts. And then come winter, which I absolutely dislike, you know, the coldness, the harshness begins to prevail and you will have lots of doubts. And you know, sometimes winter feels longer than other seasons. And I guess for us as a couple, it is to strive to come out of each season stronger and better together. Couples goals. Yeah.
So Gary Chapman's 4 Seasons, a recommended read?
Yeah, good resource. Yeah.
All right, we'll chuck that
Absolutely.
up. And Judah, would you say it's always been easy, or what do you think about those difficult seasons, and any comments on that?
Well, Shannon, for those of you who know us out there, would know that Zhao and I, we are very different in terms of our personality, our character. Like if she's north, then I would be south. Like if she's angry, she likes to get in your face and she brings out her shotgun or her automatic rifle and she'll go. When I'm angry, I like to retreat, hide in the shadow. I bring out my rifle and then it's one shot, 1 kill. And so then, so we're very different, and you can imagine us coming together and meeting in the middle and trying to make things work. And so while there's a lot of fun, but there were also a lot of really intense moments. And for us, when we were going through those seasons of difficulties and hard seasons, we never gave up. We continued to push through. And from the earliest point of our relationship, after we got to know each other, we had a chat and we told each other that we will make a choice that if we were to get together and enter into this relationship, we are going to give it our all. We're going to give it our 100%. There's no backup plan. There's no turning back. We are not there to mess around, but we were going to give it our all. And so when come the hard times, we were able to push through. And because there's no turning back. And so when we enter into marriage, we were true to our word when we said, for better or for worse, till death do us part. And I feel that a lot of couples, when they enter into their marriage, they almost bring like this, what I call a consumeristic mentality, where it's kind of like, try it before you buy it, or 30 days money back guarantee, that kind of thing. And so when things get tough, I guess they give up easily, because then at the back of their mind, subconsciously they're thinking like, oh look, this is not working out, this is not what I think, imagine marriage to be like. I am going to bring this back to the shops. There's a warranty on this marriage, and I'm going to swap this for a better one, because this marriage is not working out, like it's faulty. And marriage it's not meant to be like that. We're meant to enter into a marriage just like how, when you play a poker game and you go all in, you bet all your chips, and it's just plan A. There's no plan B. There's no backup plan, and it's almost like you sink or swim, you do or die, and you go all in, Shannon. You just go, it's all or nothing.
So can I refund you, please?
Sorry, but signed, sealed, delivered, till death do us part.
Threw away
no
the
more
receipt.
refund. Warranty is over. Oh, you missed your warranty by a week.
The receipt's in the tiger cage. We'll come back to that one in a little bit. So 13 years, if you could give one piece of advice, just one piece of advice to those out there that are maybe newly married or are going into that season or engaged, if you give one piece of advice, what would you say?
Yeah, I think I like what Malachi 2:15 says in the Bible, that God, not man, not you, made marriage. So His Spirit inhabits even the smallest details in marriage. So guard the spirit of marriage within you. So that's almost like a commandment to all married couples out there. Whatever the seasons that you are in, whatever seasons that we are in this together, and we have to be committed till the end. So just keep loving each other, and most importantly, die to yourself. I think that's what I tell to myself all the time. I have to die to myself. I have to die to my own expectations of who my husband should be. I'm not in this marriage to change him, because it's so easy to want to change somebody when things go rough or tough. I want him to change for the better. And I think I have to die to my expectation on that, and I have to first change myself, because God says to be Christ-like, right? So I need to first die to myself and be more Christ-like, and I have to change for the better in order for this marriage to survive. Yeah.
That's so good. What about you, Judah?
I'm going to echo of that. Ministry, marriage is a ministry, and on one side is submission and obedience. On the other side is humility and sacrifice. And in Ephesians, it talks about that the wife is to submit to the husband, and the husband is to love the wife as how Jesus loved the church. And so for me, marriage is a ministry that we need to put our marriage first in everything that we do. And it's interesting that the Bible says that husbands are to love the wife as how Christ loved the church. And just in case if it hasn't dawned on you that Jesus died for the church.
So it's tougher for the husband.
Yes, and so I don't know if you see the humorous part in it, but guys, husbands, every time when you go home, just know that you are going home to die.
Wow.
I love it.
That's your take-home piece of advice. There'll be people questioning that and sending in some text. So you guys can answer that one next week. Marriage we've found is also about communication. And I was chatting to Court, my wife, and we thought, we're pretty confident with our 5 years of married that we're good communicators. So we're going to challenge you to a game called The Password. So we're going to head over there.
We love
ISO
games.
Jams, why don't you play us out? Let's move over. We're going to play a game.
That's right, we're going to play Password, and the rules of the game are very simple. I'm going to simply give Shannon a password. I'm going to give Judah the exact same password. They have one word to try and get their partner to say that password. Make sense?
Yep.
One word.
One word. Okay.
One word. You get one shot at it each. If both of you don't get it, we're moving on to the next word. Any questions?
That's tricky.
Yep.
All
Gilles,
right,
do you
let's go.
realise you have two very competitive couples here?
All right, let's see who's the winner out of all of them. Wow. Let's go.
No cheating, Sal.
No cheating.
All right, babe, we got this.
Why don't we start with Judah and Zhao?
Oh.
Yep, sure.
Ready?
Yep. Jaws.
Shark.
Awesome.
Oh, cheaters. Yep.
We're going to go on to question 2.
Right, we've got this.
Judas, you went
Younger than
first
experience.
last time. Shannon, Courtney, why don't you take us away?
Okay, here we go. Toe.
Foot.
No.
Pen.
Pedicure.
Oh, not quite, not quite. We're going to go on to our last password. This could be the decider.
What was that?
I should probably tell you. The answer was toenail. All right. Let's go. Shannon, Courtney, why don't you guys take us away?
Bum.
Hole?
Wow, Courtney, wow. No. No.
The heck?
Not even close.
Talk later.
Backside.
Bum.
No.
Okay.
No, just keep going. Let's just keep going.
Booty.
Awesome, that's it for password. Why don't we give up for Judah and Zhao and Courtney?
Well, what a night it's been. Gills, have you been taking notes?
I've been taking plenty of notes. I feel like I've learnt a lot tonight.
You ready for a date?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
All right, we're going to embarrass Gillian, so hey, why don't you check this out? It's going to be a bit of fun. Hey, we're here at Henley Beach, and we're here to do a bit of investigative discovery as to why Gillian is still single. You see, he's 30, nearly 40, going on 50, and Chi-Chi, his mum, reached out to us and said, hey, Shan, can you help him? Why is he still single? Like, I need some grandkids, and I need them soon. So can you work out why he's not getting a date, and can you get him a date? So, Gills,
Shannon?
we're going to send you over. We're going to put a headpiece in your ear, and we're going to get you a date. And you know what? You're smelling good. You're looking good. Let's do this. All right, so Gillian's surprise date is just coming over, and I reckon we've identified her. So we're going to get him in a moment to introduce himself to her. And let's have a little bit of fun with this. So Gills, let's get him live. So Gillian, make your way over, introduce yourself, say, hey, my name's Gillian. What's yours?
Hey, how you doing? What's your name? Yeah, good. What's your name? Zella? Zola.
Okay, Gillian, can you ask her what she does for work?
Yeah. What do you do for work, Zola?
I'm a florist.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Can you tell her fun fact? Oh,
Fun fact. I got a fun fact for you. I like flowers.
Bouquets were used to cover up the smell of the bridesmaid. Did you know that?
But bouquets were actually used to cover up the smell of bridesmaids. Did you know that? You would have known that, being a florist. Okay, all right. Yeah, well, there's something for you today.
Tell her.
Yeah.
Tell her you're a builder of the house of the Lord.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to let you know that I just noticed here, and I just want to let you know that you're a builder of the house of the Lord.
That you are.
A builder of
that's
the
your job,
house
bro.
of the Lord.
That's your job.
As well as you are, but as well as myself, I'm a builder of the house of the Lord. That's what I do for work.
I'm a minister.
I know that you're a florist. I'm actually a minister as well.
Wait,
Yeah.
what do you say?
Uh,
I have no idea what you're talking
So
about.
I'm actually a minister,
This actually
and
explains a lot.
I build the house of the Lord as well.
Like you build houses?
That, like internally for people, I guess I'm building people up. I'm like a motivational speaker.
Gillian, can you ask her
but
how old
building
she
up
is?
people's spirits.
Moving on. How old are you?
Yeah. So how old are you, Zola?
I'm 23.
23.
Can you say, wow, I thought you were 30. That's cool.
Wow, really? Oh, I thought you were 30. Yeah.
Can you say this, hey, don't take this the wrong way?
Yeah. Do you mind if I take a seat? Is that all right? 1.5 meters though, keeping safe.
Can you say, don't take this the wrong way?
Great moment right now, isn't it?
Can you not hear me?
Yeah.
Gillian.
Hey,
Gillian.
Oh, look, I just wanted to chat.
Can you say, don't take this the wrong way?
Don't take this the wrong way.
But you remind me of my mum.
You actually remind me of my mum.
Okay, Gillian, now I want you to recover and have general conversation. Recover.
Yes, but like, yeah.
Can you
I'm
say
actually
this?
just waiting for.
Can you say, I've have trouble hearing because I just recovered from corona?
I'm just having. I'm alright. I've got an earpiece in because I'm just having troubles hearing because I've just recovered from corona.
I don't think I'm positive.
Yeah. I don't think I was tested positive. I just put myself on quarantine.
It should come
for a
back
couple
tomorrow.
of weeks. But the results should come back tomorrow though. But how good is Henley Beach? It's such a beautiful.
How have you found social distancing?
How have you found social distancing?
Wait, do you have coronavirus? You should be at home.
No. I'm way over
Ask
that.
again.
No.
Ask again. Try to move on, mate. You got to recover.
How are you finding social distancing?
I'm downwind of you. I want to get the germ.
No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
If social distancing wasn't a thing, would me and you be together?
Can I look? I just noticed you just before Zola, and just wanted to ask if social distance wasn't a thing.
I'd give you your Zoom.id.
Do you reckon I'd be able to maybe pass you my Zoom ID and maybe?
Would we be together?
Do you reckon like?
Close.
Yeah. You don't have Zoom. What about any chance of us being
FaceTime.
together? FaceTime?
No distance.
Close distance. So.
Do you have a
Close
boyfriend?
proximity. Do you have a boyfriend, Zola? Oh, that's
Cool.
great.
Here's my mobile.
Okay, how about I give you my mobile? Can I give you my number?
Zola, you have a great
And,
personality. Thanks for chatting.
You have a great personality.
Thank you. It's really nice meeting you.
So, do you need a hand with that?
No, I'm fine. Thank you. It's really nice meeting you.
Okay.
All right, that's a wrap, girls. I reckon you've done well for it. Chi, look, we tried Gil's mum, but you know what? He has a problem talking to girls. He needs help, and I'm not qualified. So better luck next time, mate. But well, that went well. How'd you feel?
I hate you, dude. I hate you.
Yeah, not happy with that, or
Oh, look, I gave my best shot, didn't come out with a win today.
yeah, it explained a lot. It explained a lot. But
Maybe
that's
next
just how
time. Maybe
it
next
is.
time. Yeah. But anyway, guys, don't forget to text in that number, all your questions. We're going to do our best to answer as many as we can, and we're going to go through it in Connect Groups next Wednesday.
We want to thank everyone for joining us online tonight.